ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वंदे गुरुपरंपरां। सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। ब्रह्म सूत्रास चैप्टर 3 पादा 3 सर्व वेदांत प्रत्यय अधिकरणम सर्व वेदांत प्रत्ययम चोदनात्य विशेषात् भेदान्नेति चेत् नैकस्यामपि स्वाध्यायस्य तथात्वेन हि समाचारे अधिकारश्च सववच्च तन्नियमः दर्शयति च। उपसंहाराधिकरणम् उपसंहारः अर्थाभेदात् विधिशेषवत् समाने च। अन्यतात्वाधिकरणम् अन्यतात्वं शब्दात् इति चेत् न अविशेषात् न वा प्रकरणभेदात् परोवर्यस्त्वादिवत् संज्ञातश्चेत् तदुक्तम् अस्ति तु तदपि। व्याप्त्यधिकरणम् व्याप्तेश्च समञ्जसम् सर्वाभेदाधिकरणम् सर्वाभेदाद् अन्यत्रेमे। आनन्दाधिकरणम् आनन्दादयः प्रधानस्य प्रियशिरस्त्वादि अप्राप्तिः उपचय अपचयौ हि भेदे इतरे तु अर्थसामान्यात्। आध्यानाधिकरणम् आध्यानाय प्रयोजन अभावात् आत्मशब्दाच्च। आत्मगृहीत्यधिकरणम् आत्मगृहीतिः इतरवत् उत्तरात् अन्वयादिति चेत् स्यात् अवधारणात्। कार्याख्यानाधिकरणम् कार्याख्यानात् अपूर्वम्। समानाधिकरणम् समान एवञ्च अभेदात्। सम्बन्धाधिकरणम् सम्बन्धादेवम् अन्यत्रापि न वा विशेषात् दर्शयति च। संभृत्यधिकरणम् संभृतिः तु व्याप्तिः अपि च अतः। पुरुषविद्याधिकरणम् पुरुषविद्यायाम् इव चेत् इतरेषाम् अनाम्नानात्। वेद्याधिकरणम् वेदाद्यधिकरणम् वेदादि अर्थभेदात्। हान्यधिकरणम् हानौ तु उपायन शब्दशेषत्वात् कुशच्छन्तस्तुति उपगानवत् तदुक्तम्। साम्परायाधिकरणम् साम्पराये तर्थव्याभावात् तथा ह्यन्ये छन्दद उपय अविरोधात्। गतेः अर्थवत्वाधिकरणम् गतेः अर्थवत्वम् उभयता अन्यता हि विरोधः उपपन्नस्तल्लक्षणार्थः उपलब्धेर्लोकवत्। अनियमाधिकरणम् अनियमः सर्वासाम् अविरोधः शब्द अनुमानाभ्याम्। यावदधिकाराधिकरणम् यावत् अधिकारम् अवस्थितिः आधिकारिकाणाम्। अक्षरद्यधिकरणम् अक्षरदीयां तु अवरोधः सामान्य तद्भावाभ्याम् औपसदवत् तदुक्तम्। यदधिकरणम् यत् आमननात्। अन्तरत्वाधिकरणम् अन्तरा भूतग्रामवत् स्वात्मनः अन्यथा भेदान् उपपत्तिः इति चेत् न उपदेशान्तरवत्। व्यतिहाराधिकरणम् व्यतिहारो विशिंशन्ति हि इतरवत्। सत्याद्यधिकरणम् सैव हि सत्यादयः। कामाद्यधिकरणम् कामादि इतरत्र तत्र च आयतनादिभ्यः। आधाराधिकरणम् आधारात् अलोपः उपस्थितेः अतः तद्वचनात्। तन्निर्धारण अधिकरणम् तन्निर्धारण अनिमयः अनियमः तद्दृष्टेः पृथक् अप्रतिबन्धः फलम्। प्रधानाधिकरणम् प्रधानवत् एव तदुक्तम्। लिङ्गभूतस्त्वधिकरणम् लिङ्गभूतस्त्वाद् तद्विबलीयः तदपि। पूर्वविकल्पः प्रकरणात् स्यात् क्रियामानसवत्। अतिशेषाच्च विद्यैव तु निर्धारणात् दर्शनाच्च श्रुत्यादिबलीयः त्वाचन बाधः अनुबन्धादिभ्यः प्रज्ञान्तरपृथक् त्ववत् दृष्टश्च तदुक्तं न सामान्यादपि उपलब्धेः मृत्युवन्नाहि लोकापत्तिः परेण च शब्दस्य तद्विध्यं भूयत्वात् अनुबन्धः ऐकात्म्याधिकरणम् एक आत्मनः शरीरे भावात् व्यतिरेकः तद्भाव अभावित्वात् न तु उपलब्धिवत् अंगावबद्धाधिकरणम् अंगावबद्धास्तु न शाकासु हि प्रतिवेदम् मंत्रादिवद्वा विरोधः भूमज्यायस्त्वाधिकरणम् भूम्नः क्रतुवत् ज्यायस्त्वं तथा हि दर्शयति शब्दादिभेदाधिकरणम् नानाशब्दादिभेदात् विकल्पाधिकरणम् विकल्पः अविशिष्टफलत्वात् काम्याधिकरणम् काम्यास्तु यथा कामं समुच्चीयेरन् न वा पूर्वहेत्वभावात् यथाश्रयभावाधिकरणम् अंगेषु यथाश्रयभावः. These are to the 61st sutra of Brahma Sutra, third pada, namely Yatashraya Bhavadikaranam in the last class. Now we will continue with the 62nd sutra of this adhikaranam. Shishtescha, 62nd sutra, third pada, third chapter, 421 running Brahma Sutra. Just 1 minute. Raj First, let us give a general introduction to this adhikaranam with one sutra. Here, Purvapakshi says, both the Karmangam and Karmanga Ashrita Upasanas have same status. Nachiketas ritual and Nachiketas based meditation, as we saw in the Kathopanishad. So the Nachiketas Agni ritual and the Nachiketas based meditation, they have got same status because both of them are enjoined by the scriptures. Karmangam are also prescribed by the Vedas, and Karmanga Upasanas also, Karmanga Ashrita Upasanas also are prescribed by the Vedas. So when both are prescribed by Vedas, both of them are to be taken as compulsory part of the ritual. Who is arguing all this? Purvapakshi. So Karmangam is compulsory part of karma. And in the same way, Karmanga Ashrita Upasana also is compulsory part of karma. Claiming one is compulsory and the other is optional is not correct. This is the injunction of the Vedas. This is the general analysis of the sutra. Now let us do the general analysis of the sutra. Shishtescha. Because of the Vedic injunction also, the meditation should be included. Now let us see the significance of the words. Shishtihi means shasana or vidhi. Because of Vedic injunction of Karmanga and Karmanga Ashrita Upasana also, because of that also, Upasana should be also included. This is the argument. Now let us go to the next sutra. Samaharat. Samahara, 63rd sutra, third pada, third chapter, 422nd running Brahma Sutra. First, let us give the general introduction to this adhikaranam also with only one sutra. There are simple sutras. Here Vyasacharya says, in Chandogya Upanishad, the Upanishad prescribes a particular upasana. This we have seen many times earlier also. In Chandogya Upanishad, first chapter, 5th section, 5th mantra, it talks about an upasana to be practiced by a Samaveda priest as part of a ritual. All these things are important. It is a upasana practiced by a Samaveda priest as part of a ritual. The mantra is what? Athakalu ya udgitaha sa pranavaha ya pranavaha sa udgita iti Kotrushadanaat eva api durudgitam anusamaharati iti. That is the mantra. The Upanishad prescribed there, that is, it prescribes upasana there, and the meditation upon what? Upon the aikyam of Samaveda Onkara. We already mentioned earlier, the Samaveda Onkara has got a special name called Udgita, and the Rigveda Onkara, it has got another name. Samaveda Onkara is called Udgita, and Rigveda Onkara is called Pranava. So Pranava Udgita Upasana is to be practiced. Mantra says all that. And Chandogya Upanishad says, if Udgata is the Samaveda priest. I already mentioned to you, in all the yagas, there will be 4 priests. One is the Hotar is the Rigveda priest. And then Advaryu is the Yajurveda priest. Then Udgata is the Samaveda priest. And then Brahma is the Atharvana Veda priest. So if Udgata practices the Upasana, whatever dosha is there in the Samaveda chanting, that will be rectified. Since always there can be some doshas or other in any ritual, and that too in Samaganam particularly, because it is tougher than Vedic chanting. Therefore, Udgata brings a rectification for this entire ritual. Samaharati means rectification or correction. He does. Since the dosha nivritti is compulsorily required in every ritual, lapses are possible. So the parihara is required, and as a parihara, this upasana is required. And from this, what is clear? The upasana should go with karma. Therefore, the upasana becomes a part of the ritual. So it becomes karmangam. So in every ritual, the correction is an integral part of the ritual. Therefore, also upasana is compulsory. This is the general analysis of this sutra. Now let us see the word analysis. Samaharat means because of the rectification, because of the meditation should be included in the ritual. Because of that. And now we'll see the significance of these words. Samaharat means, in this context, it means parihara. Parihara means rectification. So in Chandogya Upanishad, the verb is used as anusamharati. Anusamaharati. So samahara means parihara. So because of this also, the upasana is compulsory, is the argument. And parihara is compulsory in every ritual, and hence upasana is compulsory because the upasana portion gives rise to this parihara. Let us go to the next sutra. Guna sadharanya shrutescha. Guna sadharanya shrutescha. 64th sutra, 3rd pada, 3rd chapter, 422nd. First, I will give you the general analysis of this sutra. Here, Purvapakshi says that Onkara is an unique anga, and it is a part of all rituals prescribed in all Vedas, unlike many other accessories. Because in a yaga or an yajna, there are so many accessories. But he says, Onkara is a unique anga, unique part of all rituals prescribed in all the Vedas, unlike many other accessories. Therefore, Purvapakshi argues that Karmanga Rupa Onkara Ashrita Upasana. That means what? Those meditations which are to be practiced upon Onkara, which is part of the ritual occurring in all the Vedas, not just Samaveda alone. In all the Vedas should be joined in every ritual is his argument. It is because Onkara is common to all the Vedas. That is the reason he gives. The question is, where is it said that Onkara is common to all the Vedas? That is the question. One can refer to again Chandogya Upanishad, 1st chapter, 1st section, 9th mantra, where it is said, how it is said, Teneyam trayi vidya vartate omiti ashravayati omiti shagumsati omiti udgayati etasya eva aksharasya apachityai mahimna rasena. That is the mantra it gives them. So with the help of Onkara alone, all the 3 Vedas function. Teneyam trayi vidya vartate. All the 3 Vedas function. In all rituals, Rigveda Onkara is to be changed to Samaveda Onkara, that should be chanted by the corresponding priest. So Rigveda Onkara, that we chant, that should be changed to Samaveda Onkara, chanted by the corresponding priest, the Samaveda priest. So Shamshanam means is the chanting of the Rigveda priest. Sagum Santi, that's what we have seen already in the Omiti Sama Nigayanti, Ogum Shomiti Shastrani Sagum Santi, all that we have seen in Sikshavali. So Udgitam is the chanting of the Samaveda priest. Therefore, in every ritual, Onkara has to be changed by the priest involved in the ritual. So if Rigveda priest is there, he will chant it in his way, in the Samaveda. So because Onkara belongs to all the Vedas, the Onkara Upasana should be used in all the rituals. Guna is a technical word used for Angam. This I have mentioned earlier also. Guna is the technical word used for Angam. And any Angam, any part always depends on the Angi. A part is always depends on the whole. Anga is the part, Angi is the whole. So Angam is Paratantram. And similarly, any attribute is dependent on a substance. Hence, the Guna is also Paratantra. Guna is Anga, part, is Paratantra. It is not Swatantra. Therefore, the word Angam is translated as Gunaha. And the word Guna occurring in the Sutra refers to Karma Anga Onkara. And it is common to all the Vedas. And therefore, the Anga Ashrita Upasana forms from all Vedas should be included now in the Upasana. Now let us see the word analysis. Guna Sadharanya Shrutescha. That is the Sutra. Guna Sadharanya Shrutescha. Cha here means conjunction. Moreover, Guna Sadharanya Shrutehe. Since Shruti, Vedas declare Onkara to be common to all the Vedas. Sadharanya means this common to all of them, all the Vedas, because the Shruti declares so. Meditation from all Vedas should be included. That is the argument. This is the word meaning. Now let us see the significance of each of these words. Guna Sadharanya Shrutescha. Karmanga Bhuta Onkara. Onkara, which is part of a ritual. Sadharanya means commonness or common. Shrutehe. Shrutehe means in the Shruti. Shruti declaration that it is common to all Shruti statements. That is what is kept in mind here. And what is the Upanishad Sutra, the Vakyam they have? First chapter, first section, 9th mantra of Chandogya. When I say meditation is compulsory, that is the mantra that is kept in mind. That is what I just read. So it is Karmanga Ashrita Upasana. Up to this, it is Purvapaksha's argument so far. And now it is Karmanga Ashrita Upasana, Purvapakshi argument. Now in the following two sutras, we are going to refute this by Siddhanti. How Siddhanti refutes these arguments, we are going to see in the last two sutras of this Adhikara. Nava tat sahabhava shrutehe. Nava tat sahabhava shrutehe. 65th Sutra, 3rd Pada, 3rd chapter, 424th running Brahma Sutra. And this and the following sutra, they give the conclusion of this Adhikara. First, let us give the general analysis to this sutra that relates to Siddhanta. Now, Purvapaksha is over. We are going to refute it now in the last two sutras. Siddhanta sutras, they both are. And Vyasacharya starts saying that all arguments given by the Purvapaksha are not relevant at all. They are not correct. He says that the Karmanga Upasanas are not compulsory because there is no Shruti statement, Vedic statement, that says that Karmanga Upasanas are compulsory. That is Vyasacharya's contention. But we have Shruti usages that point out Karmangam is compulsory. There are Shruti usages that point out Karmangam is compulsory. Onkara chanting should be done, but the Upasana is not said to be compulsory. We should be able to distinguish between these two. Onkara chanting should be done, but the Upasana is not said to be compulsory. Whenever Vedic rituals are talked about, it talks of various accessories. This we have seen earlier also. And how they should be employed in the ritual are also talked about. But in the description of Upasanas, they are not included in a particular place as a compulsory thing at all in Vedas. How to take a vessel, when to take a vessel, how to employ the vessel, they are all mentioned in the Vedas. In all the Shrauta karmas, how to deploy all these accessories have been mentioned. The rituals give all the details. But while detailing the ritual, Veda does not mention the upasana. It is silent actually. It does not include in the ritual the karmanga upasana in any systematic manner at all. And karmanga upasana therefore is not compulsory. So inclusion of karmanga upasana becomes optional. In the same pattern, anga upasanas are not included in the ritualistic portion, and from that it is clear that is also optional. And there is another argument also given in one of the previous adhikaranams that we saw earlier. In fact, this particular topic has been discussed in Brahma Sutra, in the 42nd Brahma Sutra of 3rd chapter, 3rd pada, we have seen actually. Tan nirdhara niyamaha tad drishtehe pradag apratibandha phala. We have seen this sutra, 42nd sutra of 3rd chapter, 3rd pada. And this particular adhikaranam is only to reinforce the same idea here again. There we have given another argument which we have to bring here, and there it was said, even without upasana, karma can be done as per the Vedas. Shruti, Vedas say, even without upasana, one can do the Vedokta karma. Refer to Chandogya actually, where it is said that karmanga upasana may be included or may not be included while doing any ritual. Without upasana, the ritual will produce the result. And if you include the upasana, the result will have an increased benefit. If doing the ritual without the upasana will not be nishpala, it will give the result. But if you include upasana also, then it gives an increased benefit. Karma will not go waste at all without karmanga upasana. So the point is that the phalam will be less. Therefore, Shruti Pramana Abhavat for karmanga upasana, that is the rejection that Vyasacharya brings here. We cannot make it compulsory. Now let us go to the word analysis of this sutra. Nava tat sahabhava shrutehe. Nava means this is not at all correct. Tat sahabhava shrutehe. Because there are no shruti statements abhava. There is no shruti statements which enjoin the compulsory inclusion of meditation. Now let us see the significance of these words. Na va, here the Purvapakshi's view is not at all correct to refute that these particular words are used. Na va. And the pramana is what? Tat sahabhava shrutehe. That is the pramana. Karmanga upasana need not be compulsorily included. There are no Shruti statements for compulsory inclusion of karmanga upasana is the contention of Vyasacharya. Now let us go to the next sutra. Darshanacha, 66th sutra, 3rd pada, 3rd chapter, 425th running Brahma Sutra. First, let us see a general analysis of this sutra also. Here also, another Chandogya Upanishad mantra is quoted by Vyasacharya. Chandogya mantra is the 4th chapter, 17th section, 10th mantra of Chandogya. And that says, Evam vidam eva brahma yajnam yajamanam sarvan ritvijaha ashva abhirakshati. That is the statement. In every ritual, there must be one priest called Brahma. Evam vidam eva brahma. One priest called Brahma should be there in addition to the other three priests. In addition to all the other three priests, there should be one priest called Brahma should be there in all the rituals. And the other three priests should be connected to the other three Vedas. Brahma has to know all the three Vedas, and his job is to prescribe prayaschittam, parihara, whenever any priest goes wrong. And he used to look for mistakes only mostly all the time and do pariharam also. Not only just to look for mistakes, one should be able to be proficient enough to give a parihara antidote. So if karmanga upasanas are compulsory, then the karmanga upasanas themselves will do the restitution. Then Brahma will have no work. Why there should be need for Brahma at all? Whereas Chandogya Upanishad says, Brahma is part of a ritual to prescribe a parihara, and from that also it is clear that the karmanga upasanas are not compulsory. Because Brahma, the priest who represents the Brahma, he will take care of the parihara. Since Brahma is mentioned, karmanga upasana is not compulsory, is the argument. This is the general analysis of the sutra. Now let us see the word analysis. Darshanat cha. Cha means moreover. Darshanat. Darshanat means since Shruti reveals this in Chandogya Upanishad, meditation need not be included. That what the Shruti reveals that we have to supply. The significance of the word now is since Shruti indirectly reveals Brahma will do the parihara, karmanga upasana is not compulsory. Because mention of Brahma is given, Brahma's role is this. So indirectly Shruti reveals that Brahma is to be there, so he will do the parihara. With this we complete the third pada of the third chapter of Brahma Sutra with 36 adhikaranams and 66 sutras. I already mentioned to you, this is the largest pada with so many adhikaranams, so many sutras. It appears to be actually a difficult pada because Purva Mimamsa is separate here. Wherever Purva Mimamsa comes, we have a lot of confusion also. Now we have to enter the fourth pada, and before, that's the last pada of this chapter. And before we go to the fourth pada, let us first take stock of whatever we have covered so far in this place. And the name of the third chapter, as I mentioned, is Sadhanadhyaya. All the four padas of the third chapter, they deal with sadhana for moksha. Moksha sadhana, all of them. Of various sadhanas, the first pada of the third chapter elaborated the travel of jiva after death by taking what? The Panchagni Vidya of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and Chandogya Upanishad. We saw both of them elaborately, Panchagni Vidya. And the purpose of this vichara is, the inquiry is what? Is to know what is samsara. That is the real intent. Samsara literally means traveling from body to body. Samsara means transmigration. It is not uniformly going upwards as theory of evolution claims. If you take theory of evolution, Darwinian theory of evolution, from amoeba all the way to man, it is going upwards. They present the graph as uniform upward motion. But Vedantins, we say, it is like that graph of like, or like a snake and ladder. It goes up, goes down, all kinds like sine curve kind of thing. And not systematic. And jiva helplessly travels from shariram to shariram. We have seen all these things in detail. So the purpose of the study is to give vairagyam. That is the intent. Vairagyam is considered to be the most important supplementary to jnanam. Vairagya rahita jnanam is only scriptural scholarship. Veda patena viprasyat. He can at best become a scholar. Jnanam will be gained only when you have vairagyam or detachment, dispassion. And in the second pada of chapter 3, we had tat, tvam, padartha, vichara. The inquiry into the tat pada and tvam pada of the Mahavakyam Tattvamasi. And it dealt with the nature of Jivatma and Paramatma, which is considered very important sadhana. We saw that also in detail at that time. And there I pointed out Padajnanam Vakyajnanasya Sadhanam. Knowledge of the word Padajnanam is necessary or is a means for the knowledge of sentence. Vakyajnanasya Sadhanam. Sentence is made of words alone. Therefore, Padam is an Angam and Vakyam is Angi. This Anga, Angi, all those things, we also should be familiar with all those terms. Therefore, Tvampada Vichara and Tatpada Vichara, they were analyzed then. Similarly, Ishvara Surupam was also analyzed. Nature of Ishvara. It is sadhana for Mahavakya Jnanam. And this Jnanam is needed for moksha. Then varieties of Vidyas were also taken up. Predominantly Saguna Vidya or Ishvara Upasana. Nirguna Vidya or Brahma Jnanam. We talked about those also. Vidya, the term Vidya is commonly used for Saguna Brahma Upasana and Nirguna Brahma Jnana, both. We should be very specific as to what we study, as to whether Saguna Upasana is what we are doing or Nirguna Jnana we are pursuing. Saguna upasana is a very important sadhana for jnanam and moksha. We have to be careful. It is only through upasana sadhana chatushtaya sampatti will come. Then only adhikaritvam will come. Therefore, if upasana is very relevant for all of us in terms of pursuit of jnana. So the only thing in Brahma Sutra is upasana analyzed are called Vedic upasanas here. All the upasanas analyzed here, they are all Vedic upasanas, which is no more prevalent today. Almost gone. Vedic upasanas are almost gone. That is why this chapter becomes also a dry chapter out of context, because we may not be able to relate to many of these upasanas. As many of you have even asked questions during our discussions. Now Vedic upasanas are replaced by Puranic upasanas or Agama upasanas. They are much more attractive. But upasana is important. Whether it is Vedic upasana or Puranic upasana is important. The discussion in the third pada was what? Which upasanas can be combined and treated as one, and which all upasanas cannot be combined and should be treated as different. That was the exercise we had to go through in this particular analysis. So the combination of attributes in various upasanas, that was called guna upasamharaha. We already started with this discussion in third pada itself, guna upasamharaha. But generally, they name the name third pada as guna upasamhara pada only. This also I mentioned at the introduction. So the third pada we have completed now, and the essence is what? Never neglect upasanas. Upasana should not be neglected, because people at times ask this question: all these complicated upasanas, why should we do at all? Never neglect upasanas is the contention. And I will remind you that nowadays many people use the word upasana in the name of actually physical worship of the Lord. It can be still called only karma. Any physical worship of the Lord can be called only a karma, not a upasana. Even oral worship cannot be called upasana. It comes under kayika, vachika karma only. Upasana is merely a mental activity. The definition of upasana is what? Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyaparaha. Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyaparaha. It is purely a mental exercise. No body is involved. No speech is involved. A mental activity which is God-centered is called upasana. So we should be clear in the way we understand this particular terminology. Upasana here is a mental activity which is God-centered. That is upasana. So this mental exercise can be mental puja also. Mental puja is also called upasana. Mental parayanam is called upasana. And the mental pilgrimage is also called upasana. You can be sitting wherever you are and you can go to Manasarovara, Kailas, all places you can go and come back. So this upasana is very important sadhana, because it gives three important virtues for the seeker and turns the extrovert mind to introvert mind. Our lifestyle is always fast. Only upasana develops antarmukhatvam, introvertedness. Upasana also develops chitta shuddhi. In addition to karma yoga, upasana also gives chitta shuddhi. Upasana develops chitta shuddhi, chitta ekagrata, all that thing. This is the essence of the third pada. With this, the third pada is now over. Now let us go to the fourth pada, the last pada of third chapter. Let us first give a general introduction to this fourth pada of the third chapter. Fourth pada is also part of sadhana adhyaya, and sadhana is the topic of this pada also. It is Brahma Vidya Sadhanani. And technically, they use the word Brahma Vidya Anga Sadhanani. Brahma Vidya Anga Sadhanani. Many of the sadhanas are useful for upasanas also. Karma is not only useful for Atma Jnanam, but it is useful for upasana also. If one does not practice karma yoga, his mind will be turbulent. We have mentioned this many times. From karmi, one should transform to karma yogi. A non-karma yogi will not enjoy a calm, serene, tranquil mind. And generally, that person will brood over either the past or will be always concentrated with future. Not only jnanam requires sadhana, but also upasana needs sadhana also. And these Anga sadhanas are broadly classified into two. One is called Bahiranga sadhanani and another one is called Antaranga sadhanani, external and internal. Bahiranga sadhanani, they contribute in an indirect manner. And Antaranga sadhanas, they are directly contributing indirectly also. All types of rituals are considered as Bahiranga sadhanas, which indirectly helps a person to produce jnana, to gain jnana. Karma will come under Bahiranga sadhana only. All karmas, charity, pilgrimage, yogasanas, they all relate to Bahiranga sadhanas. Vedanta Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam are proximate means and they are closer to Atmajnana. So they are called Antaranga sadhana. So Vedanta Shravanam, Vedanta Mananam, Nididhyasanam, they all come under Antaranga sadhana. Rituals can be reduced, pilgrimage can be reduced, but Vairagyam can never be reduced. That is the intention here. Bahiranga sadhanas are droppable sadhanas. We can call them droppable. We don't have to have them at all also. You don't have to go through pilgrimages. You don't have to do any of those. But Antaranga sadhanas, nobody can drop. Bahiranga sadhanas are droppable. Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti should be there during Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. That only gives Vairagya, that only gives the Adhikaritvam, Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi Shatka Sampatti, Mukshutvam, all that we have seen. They give the eligibility for a person to pursue Jnana Marga. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Technically, it is Vedanta Sadhana Vichara. This is why every stage of life in our tradition is called an ashrama. Brahmacharya ashrama, Grahastha ashrama, Vanaspastha ashrama, all that. So whatever we experience in some sadhanas or the other, take them, they all take us near Atmajnana. Everything that you experience in any of those ashramas, they take us close to Atmajnana. Every stage of life is an ashrama only if you utilize that stage for Jnana Prapti. Any stage of life one can use. If it is used for Jnana Prapti, it is relevant to that ashrama. The pointer is always what? Only one, namely moksha, in any ashrama. So the destination is otherwise always moksha only. That is the topic of the fourth pada, which has got 17 adhikaranams and 52 sutras. This is an important adhikaranam. And the basis for Karma Yoga in Bhagavad Gita is the fourth pada of Brahma Sutra. So just only to relate to our Smriti Prasthana, namely Bhagavad Gita, the basis for the Karma Yoga topic in Bhagavad Gita, basis is from the fourth pada of Brahma Sutra that we are going to study from today onwards. Let us go to the first adhikaranam, Purushartha adhikaranam, from Sutra 1 to Sutra 17. Purushartotataha Shabdaditi Badarayanaha. Purushartotaha Shabdaditi Badarayanaha. First Sutra, fourth pada, third chapter, 426th running Brahma Sutra. First, let me give a general introduction to this adhikaranam. As I mentioned, this has 17 sutras. This is called Purushartha adhikaranam. And this is the biggest adhikaranam in the entire Brahma Sutra, with so many sutras in one adhikaranam. And the subject matter is Atmajnana. That is what is going to be discussed. And the controversy is here what? Then only it figures in Brahma Sutra, as I mentioned earlier. Can Atmajnanam give the phalam independently or not? Is the question. Can Atmajnanam give the phalam independently or not? Atmajnana phalam is what? Moksha. So can Atmajnanam give the phalam independently or not? And the Purvapakshi says, especially which Purvapakshi? Purva Mimamsaka. Purva Mimamsaka, he claims, no, Atmajnanam cannot give phalam independently, is his contention. And he argues, Atmajnanam can never give any benefit by itself. Summarily, what are you talking about? All the other things, moksha and all. It cannot give any benefit by itself. It has to be used only as an angam of a Vaidika karma. Angam is part. Atmajnanam should be used only as an angam of Vaidika karma. The entire Veda is there to prescribe karmas to spiritual seekers, and karmas alone can produce moksha. Atma Jnanam is only an angam of karma. These are all Charvakas, Purvamimamsakas. They are like that. For all of them, material is fundamental, consciousness is incidental. So they all think here Atma Jnanam is also a part. By seeing an angam, it makes the karma complete. By seeing the angam, it makes the karma complete. Because it's only an angam. Atma Jnanam is only a part. Without the limb and angam, the whole cannot be there at all. If a person does not have a limb, he is called what? Angahinaha. He is not whole. He is not a full, total person. Angahinaha he is. As long as a limb is missing, a person is not a whole, total person. And Purvamimamsa says, karma is whole only if all angas are there, and one of the angas is Atma Jnanam. So karma produces results, and Atma Jnanam completes karma. That is his argument. Result is produced by what? Karma. And Atma Jnanam is what? Is only a part of karma. Whereas Siddhantins, what we say Atma Jnanam is not karmangam, is not an anga. On the other hand, Atma Jnanam by itself can give the biggest phala, namely moksha purushartha, parama purushartha, namely moksha. So it is independent and swatantra, and it can stand independently on its own feet and bless you, is the contention of Siddhanti. Kevala Jnanat moksha palam is emphasized here. Moksha Jnanadeva Kaivalya. All these things are mentioned by the Siddhanti. This is the general introduction to this adhikari. Discussion is going to be centered on these matters. Now let us do this general analysis. The first sutra that we just read. Jnanam can give result by itself because it is declared so by Veda itself. And the Purvamimamsaka says, Jnanam is karma angam. Along with Jnanam, rituals should be practiced and sannyasa should never be taken. He doesn't want any sannyasa at all. You be a grahastha, go on doing karmas, you will get moksha. So Purvamimamsa is against sannyasa ashrama also. This is the essence of this first sutra. And the pramana, he should have a pramana. He goes to Mundaka Upanishad, 3rd chapter, 2nd section, 9th mantra. There it says, Sayoha Vaitat Paramam Brahma Vedam Brahmaiva Bhavati Na Asyam Abrahmavit Kule Bhavati Tarati Shokam Tarati Papmanam Guha Grantibhyaha Vimuktaha Amruto Bhavati. This in Mundaka Upanishad, all this. We have quoted this mantra earlier also in some other discussion. So the one who knows Brahman merges with Brahman. Paramam Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. He mixes with Brahma. Brahma Praptihi alone is the moksha, or the highest Purushartha is Brahma Praptihi. Brahma is immortal. Brahman, not Chaturmukha Brahma. Brahman is immortal, and therefore Brahma Prapti is Amrita Prapti. It says that mere knowledge alone is sufficient to gain moksha. You do not require to do any karma at all. And the next quotation is from Taittiriya Upanishad. That also we have seen. Brahma Vida Apnoti Param. Second Valli, 2nd chapter of Taittiriya Upanishad. Brahmananda Valli. The knower of Brahman, Brahmavid, Apnoti Param, attains the highest Purushartha, namely moksha. And he also gives a third quotation also from Chandogya Upanishad. Tarati Shokam Atmavid, 7th chapter, 1st section, 3rd mantra. Tarati Shokam Atmavid. So one who knows the Atma crosses over sorrow. Atmavid, the one who knows Atma, Tarati Shokam crosses over sorrow. So Jnanam removes sorrow. So the first two quotations, namely from the Mundaka Upanishad and also Taittiriya Upanishad, they are for Sukha Prapti, and the third one from Chandogya is for Dukkha Nivritti. This is the general analysis of this sutra. Now let us see the word analysis. Thus, what is the sutra now? Purusharthotaha Shabdaditi Padarayanaha is the sutra. Purushartaha. Purushartaha means there is direct benefit. Purusharthotaha, Purushartaha, Ataha. Ataha means from self-knowledge. Ataha refers to from self-knowledge. There is direct benefit from self-knowledge. How he says that? Shabdad. Since this is declared by Shruti. Shabda here means Shruti. Vedas. Since it is declared by Shruti. Iti Badarayanaha. Badarayanaha means this is the view of Vyasacharya. Vyasa. Since Vyasacharya resided in Badrinath, he is called Badarayana. Also, it's another name for Vyasacharya. Now let us come to the significance of the words. Purushartha. Purushartha refers to phalam, any result that is called Purushartha, and any result sought after by a human being. It's a Purushartha. Hence, any phalam is called Purushartha. In this context, Purushartha is, in this context, is Moksha phalam, not any other Purushartha. This is Moksha phalam. Ataha. Ataha means from this. Literally, that's what it means Ataha. And here a pronoun is used which refers to Vidya or knowledge. Because always pronouns could be confusing. Unless the context is known, we don't know what it refers to. So here it refers to Vidya or knowledge. And we have to arrive at the meaning of the pronoun this, that we will do. So this is the first sutra of the Pada, this particular Pada, fourth Pada, third chapter, first sutra it is. And then what does it mean by this? Because the first sutra itself says this, that means it should refer to something. And this is the very first sutra. And what it means then? The previous Pada analyzed Vidya. So we have to go to the third Pada, which we just concluded. So whatever this Pada, this particular first sutra, this word this means here, should refer to something in the third Pada of the third chapter, the previous Pada. So the previous Pada analyzed Vidya, and therefore the word Ataha should refer to Vidya only. That is why when I summarized it, I summarized that third Pada referred to Vidya. So Vidya can produce Swatantra Phalam without joining karma. That was the statement we made there. Knowledge can produce Swatantra Phalam. Atma Jnanam can produce Swatantra Phalam, independent Phalam, without joining karma. So in the previous Pada, third Pada, two Vidyas were talked about, namely Saguna Brahma Vidya and also Nirguna Ishvara Jnana. Both we talked about in the previous Pada. For that we say we refer to both. When we say Vidya, we refer to both. Both were talked about. Even Saguna Upasana can give independent result without resorting to karma. That is most important. Even Saguna Upasana can give independent result without resorting to karma. Nirguna Brahmajnanam produce Sadhyo Mukti. Sadhyo Mukti means immediate Jivan Muktaha. A person becomes Jivan Muktaha. Nirguna Brahmajnanam will give him Jivan Mukti. Whereas Saguna Brahmajnanam, if it also gives Mukti, means what? A Saguna Brahma Upasaka, he will get Krama Mukti. This is the meaning of the word Ataha. So for this word Ataha in this sutra, this is how we derive the meaning that it refers to Vidya. And Shabdad, Shabdad means Shruti, refers to Shruti Vakyat, as said the Shruti, Vedas, because it is supported by the Shruti. So it is Veda Pramana. Always Shankaracharya, Vyasacharya does all his sutra also based on Veda Pramanam, and Shankaracharya also interprets all of them based on Shruti Pramanam only. That was the biggest this thing that Shankaracharya handles. It is Veda Pramana. And the three Upanishad Vakyams have been given as Shruti Vakyams that we said, Mundaka Vakyam, Taitri Vakyam, and all that, Chandogya Vakyam, all three. So Iti Badarayanaha. This is the view of Vyasacharya Badarayana. That is Siddhanti. When we say Badarayana, refers to all Siddhanti's view. And Jaimini, his own student, as I told earlier, the Purvamimamsaka, he says this is not correct. And he will elaborately object our view in the following 6 sutras. So Jaimini represents Purvamimamsaka, Purvapakshi. So the Purvapakshi is a Purvamimamsa here. And he is one who is going to object. And the objection is what? The Jnanam can never give any benefit independently. Very categorical statement he makes. Jnanam can never give any benefit independently. But Jnana means helping hand. It has to go along with karma. Without karma, it is of no use. And this topic we have seen elaborately in Brahma Sutra in the first chapter itself. In the first chapter, first Pada, fourth sutra, if you remember, Samanvayadikaranam, Tattu Samanvayat. We spend a lot of time on discussing this particular sutra, Tattu Samanvayat. That Shankaracharya has analyzed this elaborately. How Jnanam alone directly give independently moksha, independently phala. And this portion is the basis for introducing the fourth sutra also, which we will now see next time, next sutra. I can spend some time. Seshatvat Purusharthavadah Yata Anyeshu Iti Jaiminihi. This is the second sutra, fourth pada, third chapter. Seshatvat Purusharthavadah Yata Anyeshu Iti Jaiminihi. So sutras 2 to 7, they are Purvapakshi sutras, and sutra 8 to 17, they relate to Siddhanta. I'm just giving you the structure of this particular pada, the first fourth pada. Sutra 2 to 7 are Purvapakshi sutras, 8 to 17, they relate to Siddhanta. And we are in the first adhikaranam of the fourth section of the third chapter. And as I told, this has 17 sutras. Here alone, we claim knowledge by itself is capable of giving liberation. Knowledge does not require an extraneous factors to assist liberation. That means this is a direct Purvamimamsa's Khandana. For arrival of knowledge, we need other factors, upasanas, puja, pilgrimage, for rise of knowledge. For all of them. Once knowledge has come, it is capable of giving liberation. Kevala jnanadeva purushartha. Here, the parama purushartha refers to moksha. That is the phala. Brahmavit apnoti param, as we saw in Taittiriya. So various Upanishad mantras support this contention. And now Jaimini, he objects. What does he say? He says it is not so. And in his Jaimini Sutras, he argues mere jnanam cannot produce any phalam, much less moksha phalam. Mere jnanam cannot give any phalam. By knowing where is Kailas, I will never get the benefit of enjoying Kailas. I have to physically go there. So in this sutra, Jaimini gives a very technical argument against Siddhanta. And what Jaimini argues is, wherever Jnanadeva Kaivalyam that is mentioned, all of them should not be taken seriously. Bluntly, he says, make a very blunt statement. Wherever Jnanadeva Kaivalyam is mentioned, all of them should not be taken seriously. He says, all of them are only Arthavada Vakyani. Arthavada means mere glorification, not to be taken as fact, exaggeration, glorification. They should not be taken literally. That is the argument of Jaimini. And the Purvamimamsa, he analyzes Veda Purva Bhaga, Karmakanda portion, ritualistic portion of the Vedas, he analyzes. And ordinary inquiry is called Vichara, and reverential inquiry is called Mimamsa, Vedic inquiry is called Mimamsa, and Veda Purva Bhaga inquiry is called Purvamimamsa, and Veda Anta inquiry is called Uttara Mimamsa. So this Purvamimamsa deals with rituals, and they are called Vaidika karmas. All these rituals are called Vaidika karmas, Vedokta karmas supported by Vedas. So Shrauta karmas. And all of them involve several factors. Rituals require several accessories. We have seen that also earlier. Yajamana is required, his Patni is required, priests are required, mantras are required, and so many accessories are required to complete any karma. And each factor is called a karma angam. Angam is required to complete an yajna or any ritual. And this composite ritual is called angi. So karma is angi. Every factor is called an angam. Angani put together will make angi. All angas put together will make angi, the karma. So even if I do a simple Ganapati Homa, you need many angas. All these things are required. For a big yaga, you need various angas. This is one point that we should remember. Any karma requires all these angas. And then the technical word to note is anga or karma anga samskara. Samskara, so angas are required. And then samskara. Samskara means refinement. Anga samskara means refinement of angas or make the anga fit for the ritual. Varieties of activities are mentioned for purification of the parts, angas. Sometimes it is the removal of, for example, husk of the paddy. If you want to, from the paddy, if you want to get rice, you remove the husk. Priest has to clean with prokshanam, all that thing he does. These are called anga samskaras. The yajamana has to have upanayanam, wedding to do the ritual. He is fit for doing any ritual only after doing sandhya vandana karma and all that. Similarly, wedding is another samskara for both husband and wife to do a karma. Without it, they are unfit to do many of these Vedic rituals. And some samskaras are there for materials also. Some of them are for the yajamana, the karta, and for the priest also for the ritvik. So samskaras are vast and varied. Even using appropriate material is a samskara. For example, the ladle with which you use for oblation, that should be used for operation. You have to use a wooden ladle. Then comes under the ladle samskara. There's a ladle samskara has to be done, making it from appropriate raw material, from the audumbara tree and all that thing. Thus, all of them will be called anga samskaras. This is the third. And the fourth point is, not all angas and anga samskaras can produce any results by themselves. Suppose someone plucks the bilva tree, and even the trees are purified. For all this, there is no benefit, and benefit comes only when a Samskrita karmanga, the purified flower, is used for ritual, and the Angi ritual alone will produce the phala. All the Angas are required to do the ritual, but only the ritual alone gives the phala. Angi alone will produce the phalam, Angam will assist to produce the phala. And the secondary materials and rituals will help the primary ritual to produce the phalam, to result. Angam is valid with Angi only, and it is invalid by itself. Keval Angam and Anga Samskara, they are Nishpalam. Angam is Nishpalam. If Angam is Sapalam, if it can itself give phalam itself, then if a part is valid by itself, it will no more be called a part. It will be independent ritual by itself then. So if a ritual is primary or dependent, Swatantra or Paratantra, is decided by whether it has phalam or not. Thus, any amount of bilva prokshanam will give maybe an exercise to the hand only, and one will not get any adrishta phalam, punyam or anything. The very same phalam will give you archana phalam. If you do archana with the bilva patra to Shiva, that will give the phalam for doing the archana. Even though by cleaning the bilva phalam, plucking them and all those things are also samskaras, they will not give phalam independently. And the fifth point is, the Purvamimamsa says is, in some places in Vedas, for dravya samskara also phalam is mentioned. Even though the puja dravyams like bilva patra mandal you are using, even for the samskara also phalam is mentioned according to Purvamimamsa. So dravya samskara is only an angam, and it has to be normally nishpalam. But phalam is mentioned in the Vedas according to Purvamimamsa. So in Purvamimamsa, it is a big debate as to how to handle the Veda Vakyas. That is where I'm coming into. So there are places in Veda itself where Purvamimamsa he contends that there is phalam for such samskaras also. Logically, Angam should not have any phalam. That's what we said so far. Vedically, Anga is given a phalam. Even though normally logically we say part will not have a phalam, but Vedically Shruti supports saying that Anga gives phalam. This is issued in this is an issue raised in a particular Purvamimamsa Adhikaranam. This we have to utilize in Brahma Sutra Adhikaranam here. We are going to use the discussion in a Brahma Sutra, in a Purvamimamsa Adhikaranam, Jaimini Sutras. Jaimini Sutra, that is in Purvamimamsa. I have mentioned this earlier. So from Jaimini Sutras, we are going to refer to one sutra, and that we will briefly mention. It occurs in Purvamimamsa, and that is called Parnamayi Adhikaranam. That is called Parnamayi Adhikaranam. This Adhikaranam of Purvamimamsa that analyzes a particular Veda Vakyam called Yasya Parnamayi Juhur Bhavati Na Saha Papam Shlokam Ashrunoti. That is the statement this particular sutra makes there, and we are going to take this sutra and try to understand how this can give phalam, and whether we are going to be in agreement with this or not. We are going to see that. So we are going to use that Purvamimamsa Sutra, Jaimini Sutra, to try to discuss this particular Brahma Sutra here. I'll stop with this, and we will do this discussion of this particular Jaimini Sutra in the next class. Yo Vedadau Swara Prokto Vedante Cha Pratishtitaha Tasya Prakatilinasya Yaparasa Maheshwaraha Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Shri Krishna Namaste. Bye.